It's been Mark Malone on the call. Michael?
All right, thank you, Chris. And we are at the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. We'll have a crowd of nearly 60,000 for an AFC West battle between the LA Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday night, NFL. Ball. Now with 2 weeks left in what has been a tumultuous season, the Raiders may add the ultimate triumph. LA has rebounded from the horrible start to win 6 of their last 8 games, and in the process have unleashed the powers that be. The Raiders now have the playoffs clearly in sight, yet unfinished business remains. Tonight, an early season loss must be atoned for. It's silver and black payback time on Sunday night, NFL. Card race, the Los Angeles Raiders have full control of their destiny. Win tonight and next week and make the playoffs. But if they lose tonight, a win next week would be mandatory. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe THEISMANN. It's great to have you with us. December is the time of the year when playoff teams step to the front, and the Raiders have done just that with huge wins over San Diego and Denver. And, Joe, the defense has been carrying this team, but if they're thinking playoffs and beyond, the offense has to deliver.
And they really have started to deliver, Mike. Now, they're going to have to do 2 things tonight. First of all, Jeff Hostetler early in the year concentrated on getting the ball to Tim Brown. Lately, he started to spread it around a lot more. Jet has become a very viable receiver, as have the tight ends. So the ball's being moved around a lot. Secondly, they're going to have to eliminate a lot of the penalties. They've averaged almost 10 penalties a game. And if they're going to go out there and expect to get into the playoffs, they're going to have to cut that down.
Seahawks had some playoff hopes, too, especially after that 3-1 start they had.
Thanks, Mike. Our spotlight tonight will focus on 2 of the young stars in this league, a pair of Pro Bowlers at defensive tackle who anchor their respective unit. Chester McLaughlin of the LA Raiders and Cortez Kennedy of the Seahawks. In the first half, we'll
surge of qualifying for the playoffs for the 4th time in his 6 years as head coach. 8 of his 53 career wins have come at the expense of the Seahawks. Tom Flores went into his 3rd season with such optimism, only to see everything collapse around him. His lack of good fortune here, virtually a mirror image of his success with the Raiders. This is the 2nd game in the home-and-home series. It was all Seahawks in the first one in Los Angeles, 38-9. In fact, the most Seattle points since 1988 in that ball game. They do not expect that kind of offensive production tonight. There's Eddie Anderson on the sideline. The Raiders will have to go without their starting free safety this evening, inactive because of a groin injury. John Casey has the ball teed up at the 30. He'll kick it. The Raiders will get the ball. The Rocket and Alexander Wright are deep. That's the Rocket, number 10 in the AFC, averaging 21.7 a return. Wright instead from the 18. Hole up the middle. Right near the 40. Take a look at the Raider offense. Jeff Hostetler needs 68 yards passing for his 2nd straight 3,000-yard season. He's thrown a career-high 19 touchdown passes. Tim Brown will start for the AFC in the Pro Bowl. Tonight, he should exceed all of his numbers from last year, which was the best in Raider history. The only Pro Bowl Steve Wisniewski wasn't voted to was his rookie season. He was voted in this year, his 5th straight. Playoff picture starting to become a little more clear, and will clear even more visibly if the Raiders can get a win tonight. A little movement along the offensive line, and it looked like Glover jumped early.
Didn't take him long to get started on the penalty trail, Mike.
Ball start. Number 87 on the offense prior to the snap.
No, when you get a penalty before the first play, that's early.
It's a little tough. Also, Art Shell mentioned us last night. He said, you know, penalties are a part of the aggressive nature we have. He said, but the jumping off sides and the illegal motion penalties, they're the ones that concern him, because that has nothing to do with aggressiveness.
So the Raiders have to start 1st and 15. Harvey Williams is the deep man, and he'll get the carry. Big hole off the right side. Williams for about 10. They'll mark him at the 47-yard line. On defense, Cortez Kennedy has never matched his stats from 1992 when he was the league's Defensive Player of the Year, but he still makes plays against 2 and 3 men at a time. Rod Stevens leads the club in tackles. He's gone over the century mark 2 years in a row. And Robert Blackman, the only starter left in what was a great secondary. He can both hit and cover. Tez off to another Pro Bowl. Just a dominating player from the inside. Harvey Williams again. Tries to cut it back, stacked up at the line of scrimmage as the Seahawks swarm, and Joe Nash, the venerable veteran, along with Kennedy, led the charge.
Mike, the Raiders want to come out and try and establish a running game for 2 reasons. They don't want to just let the Seahawks drop back and cover the receivers, and secondly, they want to try and take the crowd out of this game. They don't want to give them any impetus to go out and support a beat-up defense by the Seattle Seahawks.
And this crowd loves to root for their Seahawks against the Raiders, and it gets very loud in this building. 3rd and 4. Little movement up front, no flag. Hostetler with time, throws complete. It will be a first down as the Rocket makes his first catch. Brought down by Robert Blackman.
Good job of protecting Jeff Hostetler by that offensive line. You'll see as he goes back, he surveys the defense, but look at the pocket. Look at this right here. That's what the quarterback has, an opportunity to step up into the pocket. That's what you're looking for as ideal nature. He feels no pressure, so he can view the secondary, pick out who he wants to deliver the ball to.
As a starter in this league, Hostetler 34 and 20. Pretty good numbers for anybody. Back to the ground with Williams. Got away from an arm tackle and then was pummeled at the line of scrimmage. Rufus Porter was the man who hit him second after Terry Wooden slowed him up. And Terry Wooden has had a great year for this club. Rufus Porter, who was injured a year ago, just starting to play great again.
Well, you know, he's coming off an Achilles tendon last year. You see him on the reverse angle. He plays the block off, and then he just closes hard on the inside. Rusty Tillman, the defensive coordinator of the Hawks, told me he's just now starting to get back into the kind of shape that they've had him in before.
So many injuries on this club. They lost their top 4 cornerbacks. 4-man rush. Hostetler with a lot of time. Rathman in the flat, short game. Covered out there quickly by Brown and Stevens at the 43. Hostetler was effusive in his praise of Tom Rathman. He said he's really given us a lot. Coming out of the backfield, he can run, he can catch, he's a good blocker. He knows how to win, too.
You brought up a really good point there, Mike. He's a good blocker. When you're a quarterback like Jeff Hostetler, and he's really taken a physical pounding, Rathman can pick up and help out when a lineman beats one of his guys up front.
3rd and 4. Jet and Ismail, the wide receivers along with Brown. Straight 4-man rush, now a late blitz. Hostetler unloads, incomplete. Intended for Jet at the sideline. Terry Taylor was there with him, and Hostetler is down.
Bob Spitolski, number 58, comes on a delayed late blitz and just literally runs right through Haas. Watch the right side of your screen. Number 58 is going to show as a flash. He just nails him right in the chest. Now, Mike, they want to protect the quarterbacks, but I've seen some calls where if a linebacker was to come in with his hands high and just swat down on Hostetler and hit him in the head, then they'd call a penalty. That is what's going to happen unless they start to review that stupid rule. You're going to have linebackers and defensive backs running right through quarterbacks and hurting them.
Because you've given them no other choice. If they jump to block the pass and just touch the helmet, it's roughing the pass.
That's right. So they're going to start running through the quarterbacks, and we don't want that.
Gossett will punt to Kelvin Martin. Even non-quarterbacks don't want that. Off the side of his foot, aiming for the corner. Oh, what a kick. What a kick at the 1. Gossett nailed it from 42 yards. The Seahawks will take over deep in their own territory when we come back. They have their first possession just outside their own 1-yard line.
Let me guess who's going to get the ball coming out of here.
I think he's wearing number 42. Warren. some breathing room out to about the 5. Take a look at the Seattle offense. Former #1 pick Dan McGuire makes his. Warren again. Horse collared as he got to the 6. Nolan Harrison brought him down. The Raider defense, Anthony Smith, has shown all the critics that he can play the run given the chance. He also has 6 sacks, #2 on the team. Second-year man Greg Biekert has really upgraded the linebackers. He's second on the club in tackles with 80. And Terry McDaniel will be going to his 3rd straight Pro Bowl this year. 7 interceptions coming in, a new career high, tied for 3rd in the NFL. Chester McLaughlin, if you haven't heard too much about him, you're going to for maybe the next 10, 12 years. 3rd down and 6 for Seattle. Play action, McGuire floats it in the flat and incomplete. He had a wide open Tracy Johnson, and he couldn't get it to him.
And give a lot of credit to Anthony Smith, who came in, got his hands in the air, and managed to just tip the ball. Left part of your screen, you're going to see number 94 come in, and now he jumps. There it is. Ball goes up in the air, just tips it wide open. Would have been a big, big play.
And you have to get up to tip one of McGuire's passes. He's 6'8". Rick Tootin, the Pro Bowl punter, to kick to Tim Brown, who waits at midfield. The best net average in the conference for Tootin. Because of that, extremely high. Brown, not much of a fair catch signal, but he'll get away with it and make it to 39. 33-yard punt, no return. Earlier about the fact that Tim Brown was about the only receiver that Jeff Hostetler had earlier. There was a reason for that, though.
Well, he was, Mike. Tim Brown was the only one who would run consistent routes. And visiting with Jeff last night, he said, listen, a lot of my receivers, Rocket Ismail and Jet, now have become a lot more consistent in their routes, and I know where there will be. So it'll be easier for me to get them the ball.
Also, some of those guys would take routes off if they weren't the primary receiver. And he was telling everybody, you got to run them all, boys. I'm going to need you. Williams and Rathman are the calls. Hostetler with plenty of time throws sideline, and Brown couldn't hold this one at the 25. He was covered by the free agent Tony Brown.
Tim Brown going to another Pro Bowl. Really was, you know, we talked about him, and just the only place that Jeff wanted to go with the football was to Tim Brown. He felt that much confidence in him. But the Raiders can't take this game lightly. They got to make plays. They can't be putting the ball on the ground.
Needs only one more catch to tie his career mark of a year ago. Williams on the toss. Room to run behind Rathman. Got about 6.
Nice job on the left side by Gerald Perry and Steve Wisniewski, left tackle, left guard. Did a good job of sealing that weak side and allowed Harvey to pick up a good 6 yards.
Officially a 5-yard gain.
Harvey Williams gave them what they were missing, the running game. He has not really torn it up, although he has 842 yards, but he has certainly given them enough to make them a legitimate threat on the ground and complement Hostetler. 3rd and 5. Good protection. Hostetler with time. 1st down. Tim Brown at the 18. Nice throw. Nice catch.
And great patience by Hostetler to hang in the pocket. The protection was the key on this one. You're going to see this pocket form again. Look at the job of the tackles and the guards. Look at the job. There's one, there's one, there's one. Jeff has all that room to hang. And there's Rathman, which is his personal protector to make sure that he's going to get it off. And Tim Brown does a great job of making the reception.
Raiders driving in a scoreless first quarter. Hostetler to Glover. Not much as Blackman makes the tackle. You got to take your hat off to the Seattle Seahawks, Joe. I thought 2 years ago they had the best defense in the NFL. They were just a terrific unit. They have suffered so many injuries. They lost their top 4 corners. How Rusty Tillman has held it together, I'm not sure.
Well, you know, he's done a great job. He's lost Kirby Jackson, Nate Odom, Patrick Hunter, Eugene Robinson, and Carlton Gray. All defensive backs. And also, the Seahawks are #1 in defense in the red area. That says an awful lot.
Nate Odoms, who came over from Buffalo, he was hurt in a basketball injury even before camp started. Harvey Williams lowers his head and drives to about the 16-yard line. Joe Nash again in on the stop, along with Terry Wooden out of Syracuse.
You know, you get close, the speed doesn't matter anymore. Rockets found holes in the defense.
Ismail goes wide to the right. Brown in motion. Hostetler has to step up. Tim Brown to the 9. That's right at the marker. Orlando Waters made the tackle, but they'll have to bring the chains in for this one. Earlier in the year, Hostetler did not have the kind of protection he's had tonight. He would drop back, and it looked like a team picture of the defense. He was getting killed.
He really was, and he took some bad punishments. Concussions, bruised shoulders, bruised ribs. Shows how tough he is. I think they might be just a little bit short on this one, Mike.
Well, you've been good this year.
Lucky year.
Gotta hand it to you. Now, what do you do? 4th and an inch.
Go for it. You're playing. You've got to build confidence in your team. Art Shell is making the right decision. If you can't pick up 6 inches, then you don't deserve to go on. That's the bottom line. Purely attitude.
The Raider offense near the bottom of the league. The Seattle defense close to the top third. So advantage Seattle right here, but 2 tight end offense for the Raiders. Hostetler. I don't know.
If he doesn't cross the 9-yard line with the spot of the ball, the Raiders are going to be short. It all depends on where they spot it. And you can watch the TV and see if the 9-yard line has been made. Haas just deciding to go over with Snooski. Does a good job of getting that ball. Doesn't stick it out where somebody can knock it away. I believe he's made it by the nose of the football.
You're 1 for 1. I'd have left it at that.
You can't stop, Mike. You got to keep firing. Okay, I'm 1 and 1.
You're back to even, and Seattle's defense comes up big. 6:31 to go first quarter. We are still scoreless. Seattle. The Seahawks defense came up huge on 4th and inches.
Cortez Kennedy and Bob Spitulski, who's already delivered a big hit on Hostetler, now a part of that 4th down stand.
But Seattle with lousy field position again. They'll start from the 9. Former Raiders Steve Smith, number 35, is in at fullback. McGuire to throw. Has it batted down in his face. Jerry Ball. Jerry Ball's added so much to this ball club. Chester McGlockton said last night, he'll say to Jerry, hey, look, I want to do something. And Jerry says, fine, I'll take care of everything else.
And he took care of this on this play, Mike. What he did is he lines up over the center, number 93, and he's just going to get penetration right up inside. Right in McGuire's face. There it is. He just does a little shuttle move. Now, when Jerry Ball can knock down a pass from a 6'8" quarterback, something's going to have to change.
As you've always said, you don't throw over people, you throw between them. Warren on the toss. And the Raiders swarm on defense. Warren won't get more than a yard. Jerry Ball again. And this is the matchup. The Seahawks have to run to move the ball. The Raiders have been so tough on the ground. They're 5th in the league. The Seahawks 3rd rushing. And something's going to give. Third and 9. 3 wide receivers in the ballgame for Tom Flores. McGuire throws underneath. Green, the tight end, has it out to the 23. It's a first down.
Mike, I want to tell you,
tackled by Hoskins.
I want to tell you the difference in the delivery that McGuire got off this time and the previous 2. The previous 2, he was looking at the receiver and trying to make too good a throw. Here he just goes back, he sets his feet, and he throws the ball with a lot more quickness. Got it out a lot quicker. That's what he's going to have to do. You got to understand, this is only his 4th start. So there's a few butterflies flying around for this young man.
And remember, this kid was a first-round draft choice out of San Diego State where he was a superstar. Warren on the toss behind the block of Steve Smith. Got it out to about the 25-yard line.
25-yard line. Strike Beaker on the stop. A gain of about 3 yards.
And Warren comes up limping.
Chris Warren is not one guy that you want to have limp out of your lineup.
He already has the broken ribs. Was spelled a week ago by Max Strong. There's Rick Meyer, who has not had the kind of year that he did a year ago, but was still performing very well when he broke his thumb and is out for the rest of the season. Now McLaughlin comes through, and they're pointing at James Atkins, number 74, the left tackle, as the man who moved. And apparently the official...
Ball start on the offense, number 74, prior to the snap. The 5-yard penalty.
So, I mean, he can't get hurt. That's all there is to it.
After the penalty, 2nd and 13. Strong got to the 20 and no more. And it looks like the Raiders are doing a little yakking down there, too.
Well, this is not the situation that Dan McGuire wants to be in. 3rd down and 12. You've got some great corners that line up for the Los Angeles Raiders, and you know McLaughlin and Nolan Harrison and Jerry Ball are going to just put their ears back and come hard.
Terry McDaniel, the brilliant cover man, and Albert Lewis on the other side, who has done it for so long. He's number 29. McGuire has the pocket collapse in his face again. Nolan Harrison got the arm up. It's easy to block passes when you're a foot away.
Well, it really is, but the thing is he's just going to have to get it out quicker. Watch the right side. Chester McLaughlin, number 91. Look at the push he gets on Blackshear. Jeff Blackshear, the left guard, excuse me, number 69. He's right back in McGuire's face.
Harrison playing defensive end at 290. Brown will go back inside his 40. And Tukin will punt for the 2nd time in the first period. Longer but lower. Brown from the 35. Across the 50 back into Seattle territory. A return of 18 after a punt of 44. Nothing. 3:01 to go.
On that crucial 4th down, he penetrates and doesn't allow Haas anywhere to run the football, a key play.
And he leads the defensive line in tackles with 63 this year. Still a growing boy at 293. Raiders will go with 2 tight ends. Harvey Williams straight up the middle to the 41. Let's go back to Mark.
Here are the early numbers on Kennedy.
Williams already 6 carries, 26 yards. The field position dramatic. As yet, the Raiders have not taken advantage. Williams on the toss. They string it out, and Williams only got a half a yard out of the play.
Mike, I know this seems like it's a little bit early in the game, but the Raiders have got to do something on this 3rd down, because the longer the Raiders leave the Seahawks in this game and keep the score close, the more and more confidence the Seahawks are going to get, and the tougher it's going to be for the Raiders. I think sooner or later, the Raiders and Art Shell are going to have to use some of that speed to back up that defensive backfield that's supporting so quickly for the Hawks.
Well, I'm a firm believer you only get so many chances in any sporting event, and they are squandering them so far. And now Hostetler will come to the sideline as he calls the timeout with 1:53 to go in the first period. And with a few million of our closest friends, we'll celebrate Christmas with you from Fort Lauderdale. 3rd and 4. Hostetler with time now. He's chased and sacked. Rufus Porter and Antonio Edwards collapsed the pocket.
Mike, this is really a well-conceived defense by Rusty Tillman. What a great job, Rusty Tillman. What a great job he did with Rod Stevens, number 94, right here. He is the spy on Jeff Hostetler. Hostetler runs the play-action fake. Now Stevens just hangs. Hostetler wants to step up. See how he starts to step up? But Stevens is there. And all of his friends converge on Haas. Great concept of defense. Great play by Stevens.
So Martin will go back inside the 10 for Gossett's punt. He put the last one out of bounds between the 1 and 2. Trying it again. Not this time. And Seattle will have its best starting position from its own 20-yard line. Steve Largent, the congressman-elect, the Republican from Oklahoma. He's been traveling around the country presenting game balls to people who break his records. And he gave some to him. See if the Seahawks can do anything with it. McGuire, flanker screen to Martin, nothing doing. Albert Lewis has seen it before.
And many times. Albert Lewis, as good a corner as there is in the league. As a matter of fact, the Raiders corners, Terry McDaniel and Albert Lewis, make the best tandem in football today. Watch the left of your screen. McGuire drops back. They fire the ball out. But Lewis is right there on top of Ronnie Harris.
That cost him 4 yards, so it's 2nd and 14. Chris Warren back in the ball game as the tailback. He'll get the toss. And about a yard as the Raiders just stretch it out and then swarm to the ball carrier.
All right, now if I'm the Seahawks, I let the quarter run down. There's 22 seconds. I don't run another play. Time is their friend, and they have to take advantage of it. I don't think Larry Keenan's going to let it happen.
The shorter this game is, the better for the Seattle Seahawks. Matter of fact, right now they wish it was the end of the third quarter. Nothing.
They'd like it that way. You're right.
That's the end of the period. Nothing. Raiders and Seahawks from Seattle.
Goes out there on the field. He's playing it hard for his friend Mike.
McGuire out of the shotgun. Again, a big rush. Steps up. Throws incomplete. Blades appeared to have his back turned to the ball. May have been bumped in the secondary. And the Seahawks again 3 and out. Brown again near midfield for Tootin. Low line drive kick. Brown from the 44. Got a wall out here if he can get to it, and he could not get to it. Great coverage by the Seahawks. Dean Wells got downfield and made the ankle tackle, a return of 10 after a punt of 38. Chris Warren in that automobile accident with. This is the 3rd straight drive the Raiders have started in Seahawks territory. They've come up empty. Hostetler off the hands of Tim Brown.
You know, it's interesting. The end result of that play was not very good. But Hostetler does an excellent job of sliding out of the pocket. Brown does a good job of getting into the hole. It just so happens that Tim was moving a little too far, and Jeff couldn't make the play.
So 2nd and 10 from the Seattle 48-yard line.
Second down to 10, 47.
Wes Bender and Calvin Jones will check in as the running back. Jones, the rookie from Nebraska, number 27. Busted play. Hostetler will have to eat it. And that's sometimes what rookies do, Joe.
And I'll tell you something, Jeff Hostetler is not very happy at all. When you're up there, and this is a very difficult place to hear, so when you're up at the line of scrimmage, you know, there's a little bit of doubt in Jeff Hostetler's mind as to whether or not the guy's going to be there. Now there's going to be a lot of doubt, and it doesn't surprise me to see Calvin Jones coming out. See, Jeff thinks it's going to be a handoff. Calvin thinks it's going to be a pitch. Doesn't work that way.
Turns into a yard loss, 3rd and 11. Kennedy may have jumped. Hostetler could have a free play. Throws in the flat to Rathman. He couldn't hold it. And now we'll go back and check the flag. It looked like Cortez Kennedy, who was so quick off the ball, may have been a little quicker than normal. And he was.
Good job by Hostetler, though. He went to the hard count. Watch Jeff Hostetler's upper body. You'll see the inflection. Well, no, you won't. You'll see Cortez Kennedy react to Jeff's inflection. And that's exactly what he does. See his shoulders move? That's the hut-hut. That's what we're looking at, and that's what causes that defensive lineman to just take the step into the neutral zone.
Yeah, I know. You always told the officials your body had to move when you said hut.
It did. Look. It does. Look, you saw that.
3rd and 6. Hostetler to the rocket inside the 5.
Oh, my. What a job by the Rocket adjusting to this throw. This is a corner pattern that he runs against Tony Brown, number 29. Watch the Rocket's head. He's looking over his right shoulder, right? Where's the ball? Over his left shoulder. What a great job of adjusting to the ball. Hostetler throws it the only place he has room to complete the pass, and Ishmael makes the adjustment.
Tony Brown, another one of those free agents who was signed after the year had already started, released by Houston in training camp. Williams pounds his way into the end zone, touchdown. So the Raiders finally take advantage of tremendous field position the entire game.
It all goes back to the little things, Mike. Cortez Kennedy jumping off sides allowed the Raiders to get the first down. Big blocks on the right side by that offensive line of the Raiders. Skrepnik, Gogan, Andrew Glover over there on the right side.
Jager comes on for the point after. He's perfect this year. 29 of 29. And it's 7-0 Raiders. And it was an error by the Seattle Seahawks best player, Cortez Kennedy, that gave the Raiders a chance to pick up a first down and get this score. For the Seahawks, 13:38 to go, first half of play. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Mark Malone. Bates with the return to the Seahawks. Spun down as he got to the 34. Excuse me, that's Pino Bryant with his first action of the year, the MVP award this year. Of course, tonight, less than 2 yards a carry. He's a marked man for the Raider defensive line. Warren on the toss. Again, they string it out. He tries to cut back. Wrapped up by Winston Moss, who had him around the waist and then got help.
Mike, that's not going to cut it. They're going to have to start opening the game up on 1st and 10 because Jerry Ball is just going to continue to clog up the middle. Number 93, he just takes Mawai and just throws him out of the way and runs in and makes the play. He's just a big horse. He just moves him. And then he runs over and makes the play.
2nd and 9 for Seattle. Warren. Nowhere to run. And up from the safety, Patrick Bates, number 24, the first man on the hit.
Well, it's almost become a predictable state now for the Seahawks. They are going to have 3rd down and 6. And the other thing I've noticed is McGuire's had 3 passes knocked down. Now, Larry Kinnan is going to have to decide to throw outside more, where McGuire will have a chance to get the ball up without having it being knocked back in his face. As long as you got people in front of you, it's going to be hard to complete the 6-yard pass.
Warren so far 7 carries, 13 yards, none more than 3. McGuire lofts it for Blades. He got it at the 30. Beat Terry McDaniel. Nice throw, nice catch.
Tough to knock that one back in somebody's face. He's 6'8". He gets it up very, very well this time. Does a nice job of arcing this ball out. Brian Blades up against Terry McDaniel. You got a guy who's a technician at DB, and Blades does a great job. Doesn't lift his head to try and tip the route at all to McDaniel. But a good job by McGuire, putting a lot of air under this. Perfectly thrown ball.
Blades came into the weekend 5th in the AFC in catches and yardage. Had another terrific year for Seattle. Warren. Well, he never had a chance. Greg Biekert was 3 yards deep in the backfield right after Warren got the football.
If there's one area that the Raiders defense has picked it up a notch, it's in run defense. They just don't want people running the football against them. That falls on the responsibility of your middle linebacker basically, and your 4 down linemen. Those are the 5 guys that have to shut down the run.
And consider the fact they lost Howie Long and Greg Townsend from a year ago. The addition of Jerry Ball has helped immensely. 2nd and 13. McLaughlin jumps. McGuire on the flat, it's picked off. Now we have to check the penalty. McDaniel, that would be his 8th of the year, but it may come back. And this is where penalties do kill the Raiders.
Well, you have to remember, a penalty helped them out in that drive they got for the touchdown. Now here, the simple offside penalty is going to hurt them.
Offside on the defense, number 91. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Number 91, Chester McLaughlin. There's the hard count by McGuire. They expect at least 4 from McLaughlin alone tonight. Now, this is a poorly thrown ball by McGuire, because when you throw the hitches, the short 5-yard stops, you want to throw them to the outside shoulder of the receiver, not the inside.
And you don't want the ball wobbling quite that much either. It needs to have a little more zip. But a break for the Seahawks. They have 2nd and 8. Play action. McGuire with a man in his face, throws, almost picked off again. Anthony Smith got a hand on it. Albert Lewis nearly got the interception.
Anthony Smith is 265 pounds, plays probably about 280. You'll see him, number 94. You try and block him with Chris Warren, you're not going to get it done. It's going to have to be big man on big man, and Chris Warren's going to have to help out, not be a primary blocker on him.
3rd and 8. Blades is in the slot to the right. And they'll give it to Warren. Tries to cut it back. Nothing but white and black surrounding him, and the crowd did not like that call on 3rd and 8.
I agree with them. I agree with them. Tom Flory's doing what he can to keep this game close. He just doesn't want to take a chance to put the ball in the air. And, you know, to a degree, you've got to make calls based upon personnel.
Absolutely.
McGuire threw an interception on a quick hitch the last time out. I can understand the coaches being a little bit reluctant putting up in the air right away.
And he's got one of the best field goal kickers in the game, John Casey, 16 out of 18 this year. This will be a 41-yard attempt. His only misses this year from 43 and 56. Now it's closer to 42, but officially still 41 yards. Casey knocks it through. The Seahawks get on the scoreboard. They're down 7-3, second quarter. When it comes to penalties, these are the NFL's most wanted. The 83 Buffalo Bills, guilty of a then NFL record 144 penalties on the year. But they were topped by Jerry Glanville's 89 Oilers, who were flagged a total of 149 times. And when it comes to repeat offenders, the Raiders are unsurpassed. They own 5 most penalized marks in NFL history. They're on a pace to break the current record of 149. But you have to go back to the 69 Raiders, who in 14 games were penalized almost 1,300 yards. And Al Davis has seen this the entire time he has been with the ball club. The Rocket and Alexander Wright are deep. The Rocket across the 20. And out of bounds at the 30. Ismail with a good return. Casey helped chase him out of bounds.
You know, Mike, talking to Art Shell last night, we were talking to him about the penalties and what can he do? And he says, hey, I can find guys, I can threaten them. And of course, when he threatens somebody, you got to figure
yeah.
There's a little bit to back it up. He said, but I don't want to take away their aggressive nature. You know, that's part of what we do. That's what we preach. Go after them. Get off the ball. Be aggressive. He said, you're caught in the middle a little bit. You don't want to temper it, but you sure don't want to continue to see the mistake. So he just tries to point it out through the course of practice during the week.
Hostetler straight back. Time goes to Rathman. Rathman to the 46-yard line, first down. The former 49er, an excellent receiver out of the backfield.
You do anything you can to get your best lineman free at the quarterback. Cortez Kennedy, number 96, on a twist. But Kevin Gogan's not going to buy it. He stays right in front of him. The perfect lane for Haas to deliver the ball with.
9 minutes to go. First half in play from Seattle. 7-3 Raiders. Rathman with a rare carry and dives for 5 yards to the Seahawks 49. Rathman only his 27th carry this year. Dave McClellan made the tackle. His dad, Kent, was one of the original bump and run defensive backs for the Raiders, and his dad currently a Raiders scout. Played his college ball at Colorado. Second call at 6. Hostetler under pressure. Somehow got away from Edwards. First down and dives out of bounds. Then he turned around and threw the ball at Blackman.
You know, Haas got caught in the middle. He wanted to slide.
And couldn't,
and
yeah.
He got his foot tied up, and Blackman was coming after him. See, if he slides, Blackman can't hit him. It's a give-up. But what's going to happen is he goes forward, and Blackman just continues. And the Haas doesn't like it. The Haas is a tough guy. Now, he's outside. He's scrambling. Okay, I'm going to there. He starts to slide, and then he doesn't really, and he doesn't quite get out of bounds. You know, he doesn't like it. I don't blame him. I would have done the same thing. But I don't blame Robert Blackman.
Oh, not at all.
For making the hit either.
It looked like Hostetler's cleats caught in the turf a little bit underneath him, and he couldn't slide. Rathman, inside handoff. There's a flag down, and that looked like something Joe Paterno started running 30 years ago. Does it look to you like the Raiders' offense is more diversified lately? Different plays?
It does. This one's offsides against the Seahawks, but I think they're trying to mix things up a little bit. I'm surprised, though.
Offside on the defense, number 67 lined up in the neutral zone. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
That's Antonio Edwards.
I'm surprised that they haven't really tried to pound Harvey Williams a little bit more and make him just the one guy. Calvin Jones was supposed to get a ball. Tom Rathman has gotten it now. Tom Walsh, the offense coordinator, upstairs making the call.
First and 5 after the penalty. Hostetler the throw goes to Ismail in the flat. They give him a big cushion, of course, because of his speed. He has the first down and more. Tony Brown has to make the tackle.
Gain of about 10 yards and Raiders first down.
With the injuries in the secondary, I mean, the Seahawks are at the point where they go out in the street and find guys.
Take a look at this. You don't even see, take a look at here. You don't even see the defensive back in the picture. He will now come in to make the play. But lining up, there were 8 yards where there was not a defender near Ismail.
Bender checks into the backfield along with Williams, and they'll run the sweep. Cut it back outside. May have another first down, and does just outside the 11-yard line.
Now, that is a great job by a running back setting up the defense and his blockers. He does a great dip and take it outside on this play. It's going to come from your right to your left. Watch Harvey Williams. Start straight across. Not in a hurry, dips inside. Now he gets around the block. Now he turns the corner, and the guys out front have made some plays for him.
41 yards on 9 carries for the running back out of LSU. He now has 883 yards for the season. Marcus Allen was the last 1,000-yard rusher for this franchise. And the play clock was running down. It was at 2, and Hostetler has to use a timeout with 6:14 to go in the half.
And this is a great view from our goalpost cam. You get a great view from there as well.
1st and 10 Raiders. Hostetler, Rathman wide open. Pass was down around his ankles, and he couldn't get to it.
You know what you got to do, though? You got to give credit to Cortez Kennedy on that play. He didn't get a sack, but what he managed to do was push Greg Skripnik back far enough into Hostetler that he couldn't step up and make a better throw.
Remember last time down here, the Seattle defense held the Raiders on 4th and short. Made them turn the football over on downs.
This is where speed doesn't really matter if you're an offensive team.
Brown and Wright both go to the left. It's the tight end, Jamie Williams. Dave McClellan, the free safety, makes the tackle.
All right, this is what I do if I'm the coordinator. What I do is I move Rocket in motion, and I run him on a delay over the middle to try and get at least the first down. Now, if I'm Rusty Tillman, I hang somebody in the middle, and I clamp on the Rocket and go someplace else. So that's what Tom wants to do, and that's what Rusty wants to do.
3rd and 5. With time into the end zone, that's incomplete because Wright stepped out of bounds. If he bobbled the ball and then stepped out and then caught it.
If he catches it clean, it's a touchdown.
Absolutely.
But because he bobbled it and straddled the line, Art Shell can't believe it. It winds up being an incomplete pass.
You have to know where you are as a receiver.
He's well inside. Now the ball is being bobbled. Got to have both feet down, but look at the right foot. It's out of bounds. The Raiders allow the Seahawks more life. Big step, big problem.
Caught it and came down with 1 foot out of bounds. So they have to go for the field goal. And Jaeger knocks it through to make it a 10-3 score, but it could have easily been 14-3.
Thanks, Mike. We haven't heard a lot of...
Jaeger has it teed up at the 30. Bates and Bino Bryant, the rookie out of the University of Washington, ID. Bryant from the 9. Banged as he got across the 20. And ridden out of bounds. Let's go back to Mark Malone. It's over.
The offense can't come out here, Mike, and just pound away again with Chris Warren.
They'd like to keep their own defense off the field for a little bit. McGuire with time. Floats another one and knocked away at the last minute by Fredrickson. Nice job by the rookie linebacker in coverage.
Max Strong running a little shoot and go up the sidelines. Fredrickson does a nice job of just staying right next to him. Play action pass, run the fullback out and up, try and turn him on the linebacker. But look at the agility and speed of Fredrickson. And then look at him look for the ball. That is just as well defensed as you can do.
The first linebacker ever taken in the first round by the Raiders. He missed 9 days of camp, but it's gotten better and better as the season has gone along. 2nd and 10, toss to Warren. Finally, some running room for Chris Warren. Now that time they ran a man in motion and got the corner to come inside.
Well, you know what he does? He's such a patient runner, Mike. Watch when he takes the pitch. He's not in a hurry to try and outrun his blockers. He waits for everybody to get on a body, and then he accelerates up through the hole. Great patience, great vision.
First 2 years of his career, Chris Warren had 17 carries out of Tiny Ferrum College.
1st and 10 from the 34.
Really wasn't used to this level of competition, but they said at the time he was drafted, one of these days, this kid's going to be a great player. Well, he certainly has been that for the last 3 years. McGuire and dropped by Warren. That was less than great.
Well, you know, Lockton. Blackshear does a nice job, and Ray Donaldson comes over and hits him. Now, he can as long as he doesn't hit him low. So that's a legal setup and hit.
That was a good block, and McLaughlin comes off. Scott Davis checks into the lineup.
185! 185!
Toss to Warren on 2nd and 10. And the Raiders right back to that swarming defensive style. Patrick Bates helps knock him out of bounds. Raiders playing without 2 pretty good defensive backs tonight. Eddie Anderson and Lionel Washington, who'd been a starter for years until they got Albert Lewis.
Yeah, Michael.
So they're banged up too.
But they, you know, the thing about the Raiders is they can play 8 guys at the line of scrimmage because of Albert Lewis and Terry McDaniel. When you've got great covered corners, it gives you so much flexibility inside.
Rob Thomas, number 86, checks in as the 3rd wide receiver for Seattle. 3rd and 10. McGuire hit as he threw. Drilled by Anthony Smith.
Dan McGuire is going to have nightmares about Anthony Smith, and there's still 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. He doesn't beat him because Donaldson was going the other way. The one thing you have to do, your guards and your center have got to protect the middle, especially when you got a guy who's 6'8", and you know isn't going to run around very much.
So they have to punt it away, and Brown backpedaling toward the 20, takes it at the 19. Nice move to get away from the first tackler and dives out to the 29-yard line. Excellent return by Tim Brown after a 47-yard punt. 3:37 to go in the half.
Rob Thomas, number 86, is the wingman on the punt. He's going down the field. Frank knocks him down. He does the little cartwheel. Knocks him down again. Now he does a side roll. And then all of a sudden he comes up, and look who makes the tackle, Rob Thomas.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
It's cartwheel, side roll, tackle. That's the way you got to teach it.
Nice effort on special teams.
That's why they do all those drills in warm.
The Raiders have 3:37 to go. Jones and Bender back in at the running back spot. Hostetler to right. And right out to the 39-yard line. Gang tackled there. Terry Taylor, the first man to hit him. Taylor made his first start last week. The Raiders from Seattle from 84 to 88. Then went to the Lions, then to Cleveland, then was out of football because of all the injuries. He's back here. Same play. And defended a little better by Terry Taylor. Holds it to about 5, and Wright comes up a little gimpy.
And you know what I do? I'd line up the same place, and I'd throw it the other side. I would keep throwing the hitch until I made Rusty Tillman's defense come up and stop it.
You loved to throw the hitch, didn't you? You thought it was a 5-yard gift.
It is. I mean, you can see it, especially when you've got so much speed outside to threaten the defense. They can't jump it. And then you run the pump and go. So you really have the defense caught.
Numbers on Hostetler. Deeper drop this time. Dumps it for Rathman too high at midfield. Third and 4. 2:23 to go in the half. Hostetler again with time, and the Rocket couldn't hold it off his fingertips at the 45, and Hostetler wanted that one to work.
The Rocket on a crossing pattern. And remember, he's got a ton of speed, and it just goes off his fingers. You know, Jeff told us something last night. Haas said, you know something, with guys with so much speed, you have to throw the ball so much more perfect because it's tough for them to slow down and make adjustments. And it really makes it more difficult for Jeff Hostetler to be able to throw the ball accurately.
I think it's because most of those guys had track backgrounds, so you don't slow down and track, you just go.
Keep on going.
Gossett to Martin at the 10. Got a block and cross to 20 to about the 21-yard line. Return of 10 after a punt of 43. Of course, we hope you'll join us tomorrow night at 7:30 when we'll have the outside their own 20. 2:09 to go in the half. McGuire a little time now and goes to his tight end, Green. Green makes a nice second effort, shakes off a tackle, and has the first down.
You know what's interesting in this drive for the Seahawks, Mike, is they don't need to necessarily
Hawks in Seattle, 10-3.
choose out here because it gives you a little bit of give.
Oh, we saw that with Hostetler earlier when he couldn't slide. Play action to Warren. McGuire throws on the run to Blades at the 47-yard line. Bates made the tackle.
Good job by Dan McGuire, stepping up, feeling the pressure, sliding.
Catch for Blades. 4 straight years he's had 70 catch seasons, second only to Steve Largent. 4 times in his career as a Seahawk. Blades underneath, covered by Lewis, and a flag is down. And the call will go against the Seahawks. I mean, against the Raiders, excuse me. That will give them a first down.
Holding. Number 29 on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Albert Lewis line, not like we've seen before.
Screen to Warren. Got a couple of blocks and picks up good yardage down to the 32. Boy, this is exactly what Seattle needed.
And Dan McGuire doing a good job. They had 3 timeouts left. He just called one right there. Now you're getting into scoring range. Today, Miami's going to fight to come back next week. Dan McGuire in this drive, 3 for 3.
4 first downs on this drive. The rest of the half, they had 3. Warren. Room up the middle. Warren breaks it outside. 10-5, touchdown. The first 9 carries of the game, Chris Warren had 10 yards. His last 3, he's had 44, and that touchdown. Casey for the point after. We are tied at 10.
Great job by the interior line of the Seahawks. He does take a little bit of the edge off for you.
Ishmael and Wright are deep for the kick. Boom to the 1. The rocket. Chased out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Excellent coverage by Seattle's special teams. James McKnight ran him out of bounds. Christmas night, we will be together in Miami.
That's right. Ho, ho, ho.
Raiders with 1 timeout left and 56 seconds on the clock. Blackman is back in for Seattle. Draw to Williams. Spins out to the 28-29-yard line.
The Raiders only have 1 timeout left, Mike, so they're going to have to use it judiciously.
Well, Blackman came up limping again, and he's signaling to the sideline. He needs someone in there for him. It's tough to play defense on one leg, but he's going to stay in there right now. And Seattle's defense looks like they're scrambling, and I don't think they got a player off the field. They're going to have too many men on the field on defense. That was the confusion on the sideline.
You know Robert Blackman's got a bad leg. You've seen it. So Rusty Tillman's got to make a decision. He's either got to get him off the field.
Defense, too many men on the field. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
What it does is it stops the clock, allows them a chance to really figure out a play they want. I don't think when you're that far back, Mike, the yards would have mattered that much.
22 seconds to go. Blackman remains on the field. Harvey Williams on the draw. Cortez Kennedy wraps the big arms around him and drags him down. I think what the Raiders do not want to do here is make a mistake and let Seattle get even more momentum.
They're going to go into the locker room. This thing's back to 0-0 as far as anybody's concerned.
That's the end of the first half. Our score, the Raiders 10, the Seahawks 10. Now let's join Chris Berman for the accurate halftime report.
All right, Mike.
I think there's a little interest in the New England area in Kansas City tonight. Pino Bryant has a seam up the middle, across the 30. Let's go to Mark Malone. Mark?
Thanks, Mike.
Not used to being out of the action. McGuire to throw in the flat for Green, and he'll only get a couple. Let's go back to Mark. And if the quarterback was drawing them up, there might be 3 guys. 2nd and 8. Busted play, and McGuire's got to eat it. Warren went to the right. McGuire came out to his left. It's a lonely feeling, isn't it, former quarterback?
It's tough when you turn around and the guy you want to give the ball to is going the other way. You'll see Warren go to his right. McLaughlin thinks it's coming this way. Excuse me, McGuire. McLaughlin came that way, to be honest with you. It wasn't him.
The loss makes it a 3rd and 14.
3rd down, 14 yards to go.
Seattle not expected to move the ball that well. They can ill afford those kind of mistakes. 3 wide receivers on 3rd and long. McGuire to the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. And they've got him. The ball's loose. That was his 5th fumble in 4 games, but they got it back. Pounced on by Kevin Mawai, the right guard.
Chester McLaughlin gets such a quick jump off the ball. Jeff Blackshear, number 69, trying to block him. Chester gets his hands, he gets Blackshear's hands down, and then just keeps working. And then, like every good defensive lineman, they try and strip the ball. That is going to have to be something McGuire's going to have to work on. He doesn't want to try and catch David Craig when it comes to putting the ball on the ground.
Tootin will kick to Tim Brown. Returnable punt. If Brown can catch it, and he can't. All the way back to the 15. And swarmed under as he crossed the 20. It was a low line drive, but kicked so far, 62 yards. In fact, only a 5-yard return. In Seattle, the Raiders will start from just outside their own 20-yard line. Williams and Rathman split backs. Hostetler double pumps, and Williams drops the short pass. Take a look at the halftime stats, and as they told us on all those college courses, these are basically statistically insignificant. Both teams very close, except for one category, and that was field position in the first half, which was totally dominated by the Raiders. The problem is, Joe, they didn't take enough advantage of it.
You're absolutely right, Mike. The Raiders have allowed the Seahawks to stay in this game and make it a tougher contest for them.
But did you notice the penalties? The Raiders are actually behind. Comes the blitz. Hostetler with time and throws too high for Tim Brown. He was covered well by Tony Brown.
That time pressure on the inside by Antone Edwards, number 67, caused Hostetler not to have that comfort zone that he enjoyed so much the first half and was unable to step up into the throw.
Receivers. Another blitz. Everybody coming. And Hostetler sacked at the 13. Rufus Porter gets the first sack of the season.
Rusty Tillman, the defensive coordinator, told me that Rufus Porter would be involved more because he feels like he's back in true form. This is Rufus's strength. 3rd down pass rush. Does an excellent job of turning the corner, and Haas is just not going to outrun him. Almost tries to strip the ball away.
He had a torn Achilles last year. It usually takes a lot longer than he's had to come back fully from that injury, and speed has been his biggest asset throughout his career. Gossett has to punt out of the end zone. Kelvin Martin from his own 40. Gets back to midfield. Gossett did a good job rooting it out of there from 40. but Rufus Porter's sack set it up.
It's almost like a boxing ring. Of course, you have your cut man, everything over here, but as he drops back, he has to move around in the pocket just like a boxer has to move around in the ring. Play action fake. Now he's in the ring. Now he slides, does a good job, and makes the delivery, just like you'd have to move around in a ring. Also, you got to throw the punch at the end. That's exactly what he does there. So Tom Flores felt that it would help McGuire. It did. Lose weight and gain quickness.
Great field position for Seattle for a change. Warren. And outside of that one stretch where for about 4 carries in a row, he had some room to run, he's been stifled. Flores was a fighter in his younger days.
Well, there was something.
McGuire. 2nd and 8. Play action, had plenty of time and throws complete. Near another first down. Albert Lewis makes the tackle on Blades. They needed to get within about a football of the 40-yard line. It looks like they're short. Lewis appears to be holding his hand. He was doing that in the first half.
You know, I know the Raiders last week against Denver came up with some really great goal line stands. Their defense needs to come up with a big 3rd down here.
As you said in the first half, they're allowing Seattle to stay in the game too long. Smith is there as a blocking back for Warren. And Warren has the first down all the way to the Raider 38. And Albert Lewis is really hurting.
Chris Warren runs the ball in different directions.
Came off the field very slowly. Lewis remains on the field, but in obvious pain from a hand injury. Here's the blitz by Moss. They pick it up. McGuire for Blades and overthrown out of bounds. Covered well by McDaniel.
We talked about the agility.
9:41 in the 3rd quarter, tie game. Warren. Little stutter step got him some room up the middle. He reaches the 31. Second straight Pro Bowl this year. Ball being worked on. They're taping up the right arm.
Remember, Mike, and try and pound it up the middle a little bit. So far, the Seahawks sticking to their game plan.
Alberto White, number 96 in the ballgame on the defensive line. Third down and long. They're only 3 of 9 on conversions tonight. Blitz. McGuire with time. Floats it for Warren. And Warren was covered beautifully out there by Mike Jones, who plays in a lot of passing situations, and the ball was underthrown.
That's the difference between a quarterback that has played a lot and a guy who's only starting very few games. McGuire gets this ball up in good time, but Warren just hasn't worked with him, so he doesn't know where to look.
John Casey will go for a 51-yard field goal. Would be his longest of the season to give the Seahawks the lead. It's got the distance, and it's true. Casey 2 for 2, and the Seahawks bidding for an upset. Seahawks have taken the lead over the hopefully playoff-bound Los Angeles Raiders for them, 13-10. Ishmael and Wright are deep, waiting at the 5 for Casey's kickoff. He's missed 2 all year in the field goal department. Shorter kickoff this time. The Rocket. And he gets out to the 23. Let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. The division leaders, the Dolphins.
High. That's the next one you got to give me.
That's on the next screen. Harvey Williams. That's up to about the 27-yard line where Terry Wooden, the left outside linebacker, makes the stop.
You know, Mike, what doesn't make a little sense to me is, you know that the Seahawks secondary is beat up. They've got replacement corners, guys that are just filling in. Terry Taylor came back out of retirement. But yet the Raiders have just not pushed the ball down the field. Rusty Tillman's defense has done a sensational job to this point, but the Raiders haven't really challenged him.
That's Blackman, the only starter, and he pulled a hamstring in the first half. Short one to Brown. Flips a tackle, dives out to the 39-yard line. Wooden, who has overcome 2 knee surgeries in 3 years, forced him out of bounds.
Take a look at the way Jeff Hostetler has spread the ball around this evening. Tim Brown making a catch there. There he is. Hanging right here, right down there. These are not real deep passes that he's tried. The numbers are there, but it's only over 15 yards. He needs to try some 30 and 40-yarders.
Let's see if falling behind will wake up the Raider offense. Williams slips a tackle, slips another one. Harvey Williams to midfield, first down Raiders. Finally, Rod Stevens made the tackle.
Raiders showing good patience. They're sticking with their game plan. They said that they wanted to run the football. Sooner or later, though, Art Shell has got so many weapons, I would think he's got to pull the trigger on it.
Williams, 13 carries, 72 yards. Hostetler under pressure, and he's sacked. And it's the right end, Antonio Edwards. And now we're going to have some pushing and shoving after the play. And flags all over the place. The guy who started it appeared to be Robert Jenkins, the left tackle who shoved Edwards after the sack. Well, doing things after the play is just dumb.
Rusty trying to settle his unit down. Art's going to want to do the same thing, and the Raiders get nailed with the personal foul. There he is right there up top. Jenkins, number 67, Antonio Edwards, just uses a spin move on him and comes inside on Hostetler, and it didn't take Art Shell long. He sat Robert Jenkins down and has replaced him with Max Montoya at the left tackle spot.
Antonio Edwards is just celebrating, and then he gets pushed in the back by Jenkins. You can kill your team, and they have thrown him out of the ball game. I can't imagine it was for that shove, perhaps something he said or did after that. But that just hurts your club.
That's all you're doing. You're in a playoff race, and now you wind up committing a penalty. Not only do you hurt the offense, but by you not being there, you even hurt them more.
Jenkins is the backup tackle. He was in there because Gerald Perry has a head injury. So 16-year veteran Max Montoya comes in. Skrepenak is over to left tackle, and it's 2nd and 33. 60,000 on their feet. Screen. Rathman can't get it. For that. Flanker screen to the Rockets. Broke a couple of tackles, but that doesn't make much of a dent in 33 yards.
Well, the Raiders actually might come out of this thing gaining a little bit of composure back. They called the screen, which was a good call.
Martin, who waits inside his strap. Returnable kick. Martin to midfield. Wes Bender had to make the saving tackle after a 22-yard return. Mark Malone.
Mike, unlike Cortez Kennedy, who plays a very soft defensive tackle and a reading defensive tackle, Chester McLaughlin's used much differently. He comes off the ball, attacks the gap. He told us Howie Long taught him how to get off the ball. It's the strongest part of his game. It's also the reason he jumped off sides there, which led to the Seattle field goal. How about this? The confusion moves Harrison over, then gets double teamed. That led to the big Warren touchdown on the ground. But watch him come off the ball here. He just destroys the double team, gets in the backfield, causes the fumble. Say he's a heck of a football player. Mike?
Well, he sure is, Mark. Only in his 3rd year out of Clemson. And he said last night, Joe asked him, you think you can carry a little more weight? You look like you can. You're not, out of shape. He says, oh, yeah, that'd be easy. I go to 330 with lunch.
He's playing at 315. He feels like he can play at 330.
Seahawks with great field position. Warren. Spun down as he neared the 45 by Nolan Harrison. Let's go back to Mark.
Thanks, Mike. Here are the numbers so far on McLaughlin. Very much like Kennedy, however. 44 plays. He's been doubled 15 times. Seattle's rushed the ball 17 times for 59 yards and a touchdown, but they've only run a McLaughlin 4 times for 6 yards. He has 1 tackle, 1 sack, and, of course, the forced fumble. Not a bad half. Mike?
Just a terrific athlete. Very pleasant young man. 2nd and 7 for Seattle. The Seahawks would love to get some more points on the board, leading by 3. Warren again. Beekert, the first man to hit him, got some help as he reached the 43-yard line.
Like people would think, well, the Seahawks, they're conservative. But remember, this side to have the lanes to throw it. I don't think they're going to let him throw it over the middle.
17 carries, 69 yards for Warren, who goes to a slot. McGuire from behind. Chester McLaughlin.
James Atkins got a lesson in pass rushing from Chester McLaughlin. There he is, 91. There's 74. He's just going to get blown right over. Whoa, what a move. You talk about quickness. That means 315 pounds. The Raider defense has done their job. The offense has got to pick up their end of it now.
Tootin, the Pro Bowl punter, will kick to Brown. 4 minutes, 10 seconds and counting, 3rd quarter. Put on some pressure, and Tootin gets off a beauty. Brown signals fair catch and makes it just inside the 15, a punt of 35, but no return. Seattle still leads by 3. And then get after it. The Seattle defense has been terrific tonight. Harvey Williams, maybe 3.
We talked about the fact that Jeff Hostetler had to stop focusing just on Tim Brown, and that's exactly what he's done tonight. Rathman, their fullback, has 6 catches. Thrown 2s, Brown 5, Ismail 5, Wright 3, Williams 2, Glover the tight end, Jet. I mean, he's tried everybody. He still has not challenged that Seattle defense deep.
The pass rush for Seattle getting stronger and stronger. Glover, the tight end, fighting for extra yardage and appears to have the first down across the 25. Dave McClellan knocked him out of bounds.
Dave McClellan and Robert Blackman combined to make the tackle.
Glover took over the tight end spot when Ethan Horton left as a free agent. He's done a good job, came in with 28 catches. And with the injuries to Perry and the ejection to Jenkins, the Raiders' offensive line rather scrambled right now. Just what Cortez Kennedy wants to see. Guys out of position. Rathman inside handoff. Got away from Edwards. Good hard run by Rathman.
Tom Rathman doesn't have the quickness that he had before, but he's just quick enough to pick up yards. He gets his shoulders pointed up the field to make plays. A little bit of misdirection to Harvey Williams. Come back. Not quite. Now watch him square his shoulders up the field, cover up the ball. That is a signature run by Tom Rathman.
And McClellan is down. He clanged helmets with 2:31 to go, 3rd quarter. Hostetler for Rathman. And Rathman dives forward for the first down. Rathman just stayed back on pass protection. And finally, when Hostetler couldn't find anyone downfield, he just broke out in the flat.
Well, Mike, that's one of the things that the Raiders do. They very seldom send 5 out into the route, the 5th being the fullback. So what they do is they send the tight end and the receivers out and allow Rathman to be there to help out the offensive line. That time it wasn't necessary. When Jeff scrambled, he managed to dump it off to him.
Raiders moving. Harvey Williams picks up about 4. Sam Adams, who has been very quiet tonight, a young man they are extremely high on, first-round draft choice. If you haven't missed 4 at least this year, you're not a Seahawk. 2nd and 6, delayed blitz. Brown, first down. Had the ball knocked out of bounds. There is a flag down on the play. Did you see his shoes grab that turf? Almost threw him down. And this will go against the Raiders.
I think it's going to be for an illegal shot.
Illegal use of hands. Number 78 offense. Hands to the face. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
And Skrepenak. And another big penalty on the Raiders.
Now remember, Greg Skrepenak was the right tackle. Now the left part of your screen, number 78. See his right hand right there? That's the penalty. Now he's over on the left side.
So 2nd and 16 for the Raiders. Hostetler to Williams. Can't get away from Terry Wooden as he reached the 40-yard line. They'll still be about 9 or 10 yards shy of a first down.
The Seahawks have done.
Just got the play off before the end of the quarter. Hostetler in trouble, and he's sacked at the 30. Adams and Sinclair got in on the sack. Rufus Porter was there too. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Seahawks by 3. Still to come your way from the Kingdome in Seattle. And the Seahawks, the beleaguered, injury-riddled ball club, just hanging tough.
I'll go all the way back to the 1st quarter, Mike, when the Raiders had great field position and could not take advantage of it.
Gossett will have to punt it away on 4th and 20. Nice kick. Kelvin Martin, 24. Turn to corner. Martin. Nice return by Martin, chased out of bounds. Return of 6 after a 46-yard punt. Warren on the toss. Has some blocking. Slips a tackle. Chris Warren. Hoskins pushed him out of bounds, but not until he reached the 41.
He runs with such a fluid nature, Mike. It just doesn't look like he's moving. He's going to go to the right. Now, he's simply gliding. He's just gliding. Now, he sees it, sets up his block beautifully, does a great job of running through Terry McDaniel. There he is. He sets it up, almost comes to a stop. But he's so powerful and strong, the Raiders can't bring him down.
1 yard away from tying a club record 7th 100 game. Strong checks in at tailback. Warren playing with broken ribs, and Strong with a big hole up the middle. This is gut check time for the LA Raiders. They have their playoff destiny in their own hands, and they are close to blowing it here in Seattle.
Well, their defense has not done a bad job. Remember, in the 3rd quarter, the Seahawks on offense had -3 yards, so you can't say that the defense of the Raiders hasn't done their part. It's the Raider offense that hasn't delivered for them tonight.
Because that's been the story most of the season for the Los Angeles Raiders. Strong. Nice bit of running there. He was very patient and able to pick up about 3 yards behind the block of Kevin Maui.
It's Warren.
He's back in there, but McGuire goes to a shotgun and 3 wide receivers. McGuire with time over the middle of Blades, first down. And Albert Lewis really upset. He thought he had that one covered.
We talk about lanes for quarterbacks. I don't care if you're 6 feet tall or you're 6'8". You still need to throw through a lane. This is an excellent job by Ray. There's your lane right there. Receiver comes in, you make the completion. Dan McGuire showing me something tonight. Nice job of being patient in the pocket.
And McGuire doesn't like what he saw in defense and takes a timeout with 12:17 to go in the game. Seahawks still by a field goal.
These two were Kennedy and McLaughlin. McLaughlin is a rare combination of power and strength. Watch him come off the football here and get into Blackshear and drive and bull rush him back 4 yards. But then he's got the versatility to move outside and play defensive end. Here he goes by poor Atkins, who's waiting for the bull rush and makes the sack. And then back again on Blackshear. Blackshear almost beat. He holds him. I'll tell you right now, this kid can do just about anything he wants. Bull rush or beat him on the corner, Mike.
It's not really fair to have a guy who's 315 pounds who's that fast.
You know, also, Mike, he made the Pro Bowl, and when we asked him what that was like, the response he gave me was interesting. He said he was relieved.
Let's go back to Mark. Mark?
Okay, here are the numbers, Mike. 51 plays. McLaughlin been doubled 15 times. He's penetrated the line of scrimmage, meaning he's played the play on the other side of the line of scrimmage 10 times. He's only got 2 tackles, but he's got 2 sacks and a pressure. He has been an impact in this defense so far. Mike?
All right, Mark, thank you. Joe, you said he was relieved, and here's why the fans are cheering. When you're ahead 13-10 over the Raiders, you can afford to laugh at this.
Well, you know, fans run around sometimes out there, but I don't know who's running this thing.
Yeah, this is harder. He could be anywhere in the building.
Don't know where it came from.
This may start something,
It's
too.
even funnier. The officials are watching it.
Well, they're not going to chase it.
Look at the 2 officials. This is unbelievable.
We could be here a while.
No, they're cornering it now. They got it. I'm wondering how it got into the building.
Now somebody got an early Christmas present.
Throw some handcuffs on that thing and take it away tonight.
First down, Seahawks have gotten to the Raider 26. They lead by 3, driving for more. Play action. Loose ball incomplete at the 11. Martin nearly made the catch. McDaniel right there.
Good job again by the offensive line. Chris Warren's effective. That's what's making the play action work. McGuire does a nice job of getting this ball out. Kelvin Martin almost has it. But boy, Terry McDaniel, you're up against the best. Can't quite bring it in.
Oh, that's the note from the car. Well, we don't want to be associated with it, but thanks for the thought anyway. 2nd and 10. Warren on the toss. Nice move, pushed out of bounds by Winston Moss. He's gone over 100 for the 7th time this year, tying that team record. And he's the only player in this club's history to have 3,000-yard seasons. Huge play here. Play action, McGuire. Throws, first down. They'll be just outside the 10-yard line. Beekert makes the tackle, but Blades has another first down.
You got to give a lot of credit to Larry Kennan on the left there. Of course, Tom Flores overseeing
the NFL in efficiency on 1st and goal. Well, they were. Movement by Paul Green, the 3rd-year tight end out of USC.
Offense has been moving. It's going to be tough for the Raiders to catch them.
1st and goal from the 15. Warren. Jerry Ball hit him at the line of scrimmage along with Greg Beekert, the middle linebacker.
I'll tell you, if I'm Dan McGuire right now, I know he hasn't played a lot, but I'm thinking I can use a lot of clock here.
Win it for him.
I think he's got to take it down to around 6-7 seconds.
Play action again. McGuire with time for the end zone intended for Green. And it appeared to be tipped at the last minute as Bates was in the area.
Paul Green's going to work from the right side or left side of your screen, coming in the middle. They double the outside guys. What he's complaining about is Bates grabs him, but I'll tell you something. As hard as McGuire fires the football, and this is a tight spiral, that's a bullet. Bates hardly has a chance to get a hand up to even defend his face.
First-round draft choice a year ago out of Texas A&M, saved the touchdown there. 3rd and goal from the 15. And now Seattle's going to have to use another timeout. Still, the Seahawks lead by 3. Back in a moment. And coached with Tom Flores with the Raiders, and now the head coach in his own right as Flores moved on to Seattle. First as the general manager and now the head coach. A lot of respect between those two gentlemen.
You know, talking to Tom, what's interesting is you see his quiet demeanor. And he said playing against the Raiders is special, but playing against everybody in the AFC West is special. And Art Shell said the one thing that he learned from Tom Flores was that you have to be consistent. And that's exactly the way these two men coach.
3rd and goal from the 15. McGuire with time for 1. Knocked away at the last minute. Great defensive play by James Trapp, the speed merchant who got his hand up at the last moment.
Stays right with Chris Warren as he comes swinging out of the backfield. McGuire doing a good job. Actually, he looks away a little bit. That's good. Didn't stay focused on the receiver. Now Trapp comes back and just gets perfectly timed. Just managed to get his hands up in Warren's face.
Casey is 2 for 2, 41 and 50. This is from 33 yards away. And he nails another one. John Casey, 3 for 3 on the night. And the Seahawks extend their lead. And his Raiders running out of time, down by 6 with 9:35 to go in the ball game. And the Raiders set to get it back. 2 extremely fast return men, Wright and Ishmael. The rocket from the 5. Avoided one big hit and then took another as he got to the 28. That last scoring drive for the Seattle Seahawks, important for several reasons. One, it got them another field goal. It took 5:14 off the clock and kept their defense off the field. Gave those guys some time to rest. And now Hostetler will have to face a fresh unit.
Remember, you know, they've got a lot of people playing out of position on the offensive line of the Los Angeles Raiders.
Harvey Williams on first down. He's hitting the backfield. Flags are down. They've stopped the play.
Ball start. Number 76 on the offense prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Those are the ones that Art Shell said are killing him.
They're the ones that bought him. But the thing is you've got Skripnik now over at left tackle. He started the game at right tackle. You've got Max Montoya in at the left guard position. So you've got a lot of people in different positions, and therefore the communication on the blocking, especially on pass protection, is not as smooth as it would be.
1st and 15. Hostetler for Brown. Tim Brown is gone. Touchdown Raiders. Just when you think you've got them, they hit you for 77 yards.
That's what all that speed does, Mike. They finally got outside to the speed.
And what a throw.
It's a perfectly thrown ball against the 2 deep help. The safety couldn't get over to make the play. Tim Brown hit the seam, and Hostetler put it right where he had to.
So just like that, a 6-point lead evaporates. Tim Brown goes 77 yards, his long play of the year. Jeff Hostetler with his 20th touchdown pass. West Virginia to Notre Dame, so we're both in good shape on that one.
Feel good about that, don't you?
Jaeger for the lead. And the Raiders take the lead, but there's a marker down. And a delay call against Seattle. Now they will give the Raiders the option because of the possibility of a 2-point conversion, but they'll turn this one down and have the opportunity, I believe, to take it on the kickoff.
12 men on the field. On the defense, the extra point is good. We will assess the penalty on the kickoff.
Take a look at this touchdown. We saw the great throw and the great execution by Tim Brown and Jeff Hostetler, but really makes this from our goalpost cam. You're going to see Jeff Hostetler. See him look to the left? He's looking out here, but the pass is going to go over here. Then he comes back to make the throw. Great job by Haas hanging on the left side. He held Raphael Robinson, number 21, in the middle more and didn't allow him to get over to help out. Brown does his job. He hangs ready. But you don't see Raphael Robinson until it's too late. That's because of the great job by Jeff Hostetler by looking off the defense.
So with 9:13 to go in the game, the Raiders have grabbed a 17-16 lead. Robinson, backup safety, just couldn't make the play.
Well, the Raiders offense has responded to what they needed to do. Now it's up to the Seahawks offense to take the burden on their shoulders.
Huge play for the Raiders' quick strike offense that had been held in check all night long.
Well, they finally made a decision to push it up the field.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, with all the speed they have, Mike, you'd expect 7-8 shots per game by the Raiders. That was just their second.
And they used to take them. Bates and Bryant are deep to receive. The rookie Bryant from the 1. Gets outside to the 40. And a flag down, looks like a face mask. Alexander Wright on the tackle. That's why he couldn't run away from him.
That's another thing. You know, you don't think about the use of speed on a team, on your special teams, except when you look at kick return men. But they're so valuable covering kicks because nobody can run away from them.
Alexander Wright, the NFL's fastest man, twice.
5-yard face mask penalty. Number 89 added on to the end of the run.
Wright was once clocked in the 40 in 4-1-4.
Anybody else, I'll guarantee you, gets outside on this, they're going to pick up a lot more yards. There's the move up inside. Now he sees the seam. He's got it. Now watch 89 close. He's not even running. That's not fair. Alexander Wright's hardly running, and he brings him down.
But great field position for the Seahawks with 8:59 to go. McGuire under pressure. And incomplete intended for Blades. McLaughlin was coming hard.
I'll tell you what the Seahawks cannot afford to do offensively. They can right on top of them.
2nd and 10. Blades goes in motion. This play has worked all night long. The toss after the motion, but not this time as Warren is caught at the line of scrimmage. And again, McLaughlin is in on the play. The guy is just so good at every aspect of defensive line play. Quick enough to chase from side to side.
And I'll tell you a guy who deserves a lot of credit for Chester McLaughlin's success. is Howie Long.
Absolutely.
Howie took him in. Chester lived with Howie and his family for about 6 weeks. And Chester said if it wasn't for Howie, he wouldn't know where he is today, because he taught him how to be a man and handle professional football.
And to make the right kind of decisions. 3rd and long. McGuire with time over the middle, incomplete. Great coverage on Blades by Hoskins. That's a safety on Blades.
One of the things that the Raider defense didn't have early in the season was good communication between their secondary people. There you saw Albert Lewis originally chuck Blades at the line, and he turns him over to Hoskins in the middle. That's another area of improvement by the Raider defense.
So Tootin will have to punt for the 7th time. It's off a beauty over the head of Brown. He lets it go, and it's into the end zone. 55 yards, but a net of 35. The Raiders will start from the 20 when we come back.
And Cortez Kennedy, and here's the biggest difference. Watch Kennedy most of the night in double teams on the line of scrimmage, not very effective. On the other hand, with the scheme of the Raiders, McLaughlin has been everywhere, been very active, making plays like this, forcing the ball. It's been the difference in the battle of these two great defensive tackles. Mike?
Mark, it's been fun to watch. Raiders take over at their own 20, now up by 1 with 8 minutes and 1 second to go. Harvey Williams hit at the line of scrimmage, breaks the tackle, gets about 6. Let's go back to Mark.
Mike, here are the numbers in comparison, and they're interesting. McLaughlin and Kennedy. McLaughlin been double-teamed about 30% of the time versus 54 for Kennedy. They've only rushed the ball, McLaughlin, 4 times for 6 yards, 4 for 17 at Kennedy. How about this? 3 quarterback hits for McLaughlin, only 1 for Kennedy, 2 sacks for McLaughlin, none for Kennedy. It's been the difference in this football game. I can't understand why Rusty Tillman doesn't use Kennedy more in terms of rushing the quarterback and using his speed. Mike?
All right, Mark, 2nd and 4. Williams got a block from Tim Brown. Will be stopped short of the first down at the 28-yard line. Rufus Porter with a good tackle.
Raiders continuing to play it pretty close. Tom Walsh really hasn't taken shots down the field. When he has, he's got big plays to Ishmael and another one to Tim Brown. The only 2 he's taken have wound up with big completions, 1 for a touchdown.
Bender is in the backfield as the blocker for Williams. They'll try to get it on the ground. Got away from Brown and dives. Should have the first down. Great effort by Harvey Williams to keep the drive going. And he's going to be slow to get up.
Harvey Williams showed you his speed to get outside on that play. Tony Brown has a good angle on him. He just turns it. This is the reverse angle. It's going to be coming right at you. Starts to turn in. Then he just turns his speed on. Good use of the straight arm. Just does manage to pick up the first down. Rusty Tillman had the right defense, but he didn't get his guys to make the play.
Art Shell said something fascinating last night about Harvey Williams. He said he went up to him the other day and said, you know, I never liked you. I liked you on the field, but I didn't like you as a person. I thought you were a showboat and a hot dog. You know what? I can't help liking you. That must have made Harvey Williams' season.
He finally said, I like you.
Calvin Jones will check in on 1st and 10. 6:27 to go in the game. The crowd chanting, hoping the defense can hold. Jones off the right side. Wooden stands him up and then gets help. Well, you can just see the Seattle secondary creeping closer and closer to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they have to. I mean, it's a commitment by the Raiders to run the football. And the other thing you're seeing is that the Raiders have decided to go to the right side, where Gogan, number 66, has been in the lineup, and Bruce Wilkerson, number 68, fills in at the right tackle. Don't forget, your left side is basically rebuilt now.
Rod Stevens appeared to be shaken up on that last play.
Let me qualify what I said. Gogan is at right tackle. Montoya is at right guard. Wilkerson is not playing.
They're all over the place. 2nd and 8. Rathman back in. Here comes the blitz. Hostetler just airs one out of bounds. And they want the intentional grounding call on that one. They're not going to get it.
Ball long and allow those receivers to get up ahead of speed.
It's 3rd and 8. 5:16 left in the game. Hostetler steps up, can't get rid of it. The sack to Sinclair, the second one he's been in on tonight. He missed several games this year due to a groin injury.
They decided not to go after him with multiple people. What a great job by Sam Adams coming off the ball. And look at Sinclair just keep working. This is a coverage sack. The whole defense gets credit on that one.
5 sacks tonight for the Seahawks defense. Kelvin Martin waits for the punt, and Gossett just got it out of there. Martin, fair catch at the 29. A pretty 40-yard punt, no return. Our NFL schedule moves to Saturday, so I hope you'll be with us at noon Eastern for brilliant since taking over the Lions. Warren. Nice run, and you're so right, Joe. He just glides.
He really does. I mean, when he starts with the ball, he looks a little bit like Eric Dickerson, but he doesn't have that kind of acceleration. But he runs fairly straight up and just continues to cut and move and slide. See the little hop step? Now again, another little hop step outside.
22 carries, 117 yards. He needs only 3 more yards to break Kurt Warner's single-season record for this franchise. 2nd and 1. They'll throw. Green makes the catch. He's got a first down, pounced on by Hoskins. SportsCenter, of course, follows our telecast. 3:59 to go in the game. Seahawks can take the lead with a field goal. McGuire fumbles the snap from center, and somehow he got it back. It bounced forward about 3 yards and then looked like it was kicked right back to him.
He fumbled this one, but the first snap of this series 2 snaps ago, he also didn't handle very cleanly. The ball is up. McGuire's just not staying with it. That's not Ray Donaldson. Of course, Ray Donaldson's got Chester McLaughlin on his nose, so he has a bigger problem to deal with. So you got to help your center out as the quarterback. You have to stay with it a little longer.
No turnovers in this ballgame. End around Blades, and he lost it. Blades picked it back up, and Jerry Ball, what a hustle play. 315 plus. Jerry Ball chased it all the way to the sideline and pushed him out of bounds.
That's what he gives you once he makes the penetration. Jerry Ball, number 93. They try and cut him, but he doesn't stay down. They try and tackle him. He doesn't.
Boy, room service bounce for Blades to get it back, too. Now they're faced with 3rd and 14.
Well, you're in 2 down. You're going to go for it on 4th down here, I think, because you only have 1 timeout left, so you'd be tough to stop the clock.
That's the problem they face, just the 1 timeout. Raiders show blitz. They don't come with it, though. McGuire in trouble. McLaughlin has him. Throws incomplete. And here comes the punt team, 1 timeout or not. They will be able to stop it with the 2-minute warning, and with 3 and 11, if they can hold them without a first down, they will get it back.
1st and 10 in the next series for the Raiders and the Seahawks becomes very important. What happens on 1st?
Rick Tootin roots it out of there. Brown, fair catch at the 19. 3:04 to go. There's a flag down back near the line of scrimmage.
43-yard punt and return. Look for football fans.
This will go against Seattle. Let's see if the Raiders just decline it and keep the ball.
Sponsored by the Seahawks. We salute the 82 participating classrooms in the greater Seattle area.
I'll be honest with you, I'd let him punt it again. I mean, you got Tim Brown back there.
We have ineligible receiver downfield on the kicking team, number 38. That's a 5-yard penalty. Re-kick, 4th down.
Good kick again. Movement again on the Seattle line.
Penalty flag.
Ball start. Number 81 on the offense prior to the snap. The 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Tim Brown waits at his 30. Shanked. Gets a good bounce, though, and Brown at the 31 just gets out of bounds at the 36. A return of 5 after a 41-yard punt from Rick Tootin. 2:56 to go. The Seahawks down to 1 timeout. Joe, you said first down. I think first and second now.
The 2-minute warning will give you the 3rd down timeout. Then you'll punt it. Seahawks wind up with the ball under 2 minutes.
Harvey Williams, Rufus Porter closed down on him in a hurry. He got a yard.
See, I don't use the timeout here now. Well, Tom Flores wants to. I don't think I would have done it here. The reason I wouldn't have done it here, Mike, is because now you're not going to get to the 2-minute warning. So if you were to use it on 2nd down, you'd have not only the 2nd down timeout, but you'd have the 2-minute warning coming up. I think you could have let it run down to 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I just, the philosophy of this one doesn't make sense to me. Out of timeout.
Okay. Hostetler's number. Harvey Williams diving forward to the 39, and now only the 2-minute warning will stop the clock. Raphael Robinson and Joe Nash make the tackle.
You see how important timeouts are? I mean, through the course of it, you know, you can't be burning them up early in the 3rd quarter or early in the 4th quarter. I mean, they become the most valuable entity you have, whether you're offense or defense. You can't waste them.
Now, the play clock on your left will take it down to about 2:04 before they'd have to snap it. As important as that time is, this 3rd down is more important. If they don't stop him, it's over anyway.
That's right.
And Hostetler to throw. Dropped by Glover. Hostetler put it on the money at the 49-yard line, and his tight end couldn't hold it.
You know, Mike, when we were talking about the offense of the Raiders not doing their job, that's certainly not the case of Jeff Hostetler. He has put the ball where it belongs all night. This is a good route. There's the ball. You've got to make that catch. That is not a hard catch. And boy, he's got every right to be upset. And Rusty Tillman is elated. His defense has done their job.
Gossett to punt. Martin is deep. Back to the 16. Had a seam and just tripped up as he crossed the 25. A return of 9 after a 45-yard punt. The 2-minute warning officially comes with 1:58 left and a 1-point Raider lead in as a wild card. The next 3 teams fighting for 2 spots. If the Raiders win the next 2, they are in regardless. If the Raiders lose tonight, New England would be in. If all 3 of those last teams finished at 9 and 7, the Chiefs and the Raiders get the remaining wild card spots, and New England would be out. So nail biting in several cities. Art Shell trying to go to his 4th playoffs in 6 years. 1:58 to go, no timeouts. McGuire fumbles another snap. He's hit, lost it again. Raiders have the football. No, Seattle got it. Oh, what a break. It looked like Winston Moss had it. McGuire, 7 fumbles in 6 games. He's lost 3, and he was so lucky not to lose that one.
But 5 of the last snaps from center. You've got to stay with the center. What happens is McGuire is pulling out while Ray Donaldson is trying to make a hard cutoff to the right. It's the quarterback's job to stay with the center longer.
And they are ruling that was an incomplete pass. You could see on the replay his arm coming forward. McGuire, the screen to Warren. Flag is down. Chris Warren, they tried to keep him in bounds, out of bounds at about the 39. Let's check the penalty. And a big penalty against the Seahawks.
Howard Ballard, number 75.
Holding number 75 on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. We'll repeat second down.
Lower left part of your screen. Alberto White trying to make the play. He just throws him to the ground. Quite obviously, you can't do that.
Second and 20. Remember, if you're thinking ahead, Casey has the great leg. But they need about another 45 yards to give him a shot. Screen to Warren. Hit from behind. Flag is down. Tackled again by Alberto White. Now we'll check this penalty. An eligible receiver downfield.
That was Kevin Mawai. Kevin Mawai gets downfield, number 52.
Ineligible receiver, number 53 on the offense downfield. The penalty has been declined. Third down.
53 is Donaldson, who doesn't appear to agree with the call. Obviously, 4-down territory here. Fake the draw to Warren. McGuire steps up and Martin can't hold it. Would have been a first down at the 37. Good throw by McGuire. Martin just couldn't get there.
Now, I don't know if I'm going to agree with you on the throw, Mike. This one's up pretty high and away. This is going to be a tough catch to make. Martin comes down. They push it off. He pushes off. Now he comes in. That ball is just up real high, and I'll tell you, McGuire fires the thing. Yep, you're right. He should have made the catch.
I was going to say, if one of your receivers dropped that, wouldn't you be beefing?
I'd be hot. Should have made the play for you.
Comes down to this, 4th and 17. First down, McGuire, same play to Martin.
Comes back with the same play. What a call by Larry Kennan. He's got to ground it now. Just take the snap, throw it into ground.
Remember, no timeouts, and they stopped the clock. Plenty of time. 1:14 left.
Big 4th down play.
Hey, you don't hit too many 4th and 17.
No, you don't, but you don't let a guy run down the field that far either. They've got no pressure on the wide receiver. Terry, it looks like a replay of the same play before. The difference is he makes the catch. Good protection by the O-line. McGuire puts it right where he has to.
They need 29 yards to give Casey a shot at a 50-yard field goal. McGuire to Martin. Martin to the 30. They are in field goal range. Albert Ross made the tackle, a gain of 32. Holy cow.
Now all McGuire has to do is keep his composure, ground the ball again. Everybody take a deep breath.
50 seconds left.
And McGuire did an excellent job of checking to make sure his offensive line was set. And Al Davis is not thrilled about what he's seeing. They took the same play and ran it from the other side. This one's going to come left to right. They fake Warren across the 4.
50 seconds to go. You can actually afford to run Chris Warren here. And they do. Cuts it back. Warren gets 6. And the Raiders are going to use a timeout.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know why.
I was just going to ask you to explain it to me, but I guess you've already stated your position.
I'll tell you what. Even though they've got to regroup, they were hit with 2 big plays. What would have happened is they would have come up with a 3rd down play. You know that McGuire's got to ground it to stop the clock, or they've got to run a play. So you really put the pressure on the Seattle offense to do something on 3rd down. Then, if it's incomplete, or you stop them. They've got to go for it on 4th down. But now you've sort of played your hand a little bit early.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Plus, you give them a chance to set the strategy on the sideline. Of course, if the Raiders lose tonight, then they have to beat Kansas City next week to get in the playoffs. And Kansas City has had success against the Raiders. Casey, who is 3 for 3 tonight. 41 seconds left. Warren didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Stopped at the 25 yet. Hooking, and it's no good. What a heartbreak for the Seahawks to get that close and have the reliable John Casey, who's missed 2 all year, hook it.
He gets this one started. Heads towards the left upright. And there it goes, just outside. John Casey can't believe it. The football game tonight, the Seahawks can only feel like they lost one.
But for the Raiders, it means they will go to 9-6. If they win next week, they are in. And you think the people in Seattle were deflated. How about the people in New England?
Wow.
That kick would have put the Patriots in the playoffs. Our final score, the Raiders 17, the Seahawks 16. Coming up next, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann. The top stories, the NFL playoff picture, the end of an era for the Buffalo Bills, and our Sunday conversation with the great Steve Young. For Joe Theismann, Mark Malone, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good night from Seattle. Sports Center is next after this.
Here's a